And today's topic is how to create 1,000 loyal fans who will buy anything that you have and are obsessed with your product or yourself. Now, why would you want to do this? This was developed by a man named Kevin Kelly, and I will link to his article in my show notes below. But basically it goes like this. If you develop 1,000 loyal fans who will buy anything that you put out there, or if you have a product and you have 1,000 loyal fans to that product, you can expand upon that product and they'll buy anything related to that product later. So it's better to have 1,000 obsessed fans than trying to appeal to 10,000 general people who may come by once and then leave and you never see them again. If you focus on the people that you provide the most value to, you'll be successful. Think about it. If you have a product, you have 1,000 fans, it's a $100 product, that's $100,000 a year that they're willing to spend. That's all you need. In most businesses, in most small businesses that are very simple, 1,000 fans is all that you're going to need. Now, if you have a more complex business, if you have a lot more employees, if you have a lot more overhead, then you're going to have to scale that. You're going to have a lot more fans in order to succeed. So keep that in mind. The bigger you are, the more fans you have to develop, which will take more time, right? So that's where we get into now. How do you get these fans? How do you get 1,000 loyal fans? And why? Why would you focus on this? Well, you focus on it because you'll never please everyone anyway. So trying to develop a product that's going to please absolutely everybody doesn't really work. It's not going to work. Focus on the people who believe in you. Focus on the people who are going to follow you and purchase your product, follow your business, who are loyal to you. That's the quickest way to success. Instead of trying to please everybody, instead of trying to diversify your business to cover everybody, if you have one target market or one target product that you just have people who are absolutely crazy about, focus on it. It's okay to focus on it. I talk about multiple streams of income, but it's okay to focus. Focus on one product, focus on one strength until you've maxed it out, and then look to diversify. And that's one thing I like to stress on my beliefs and website is, yes, multiple streams of income is important, but you don't start out doing 10 different multiple streams to begin with. You focus on one. So focus on one and build that 1,000 fan base. Build those fans up and become successful in one area. And what you'll find is you can branch off and develop multiple streams of income off that one area. And that's the misconception people have. People believe you got to be doing 10 different things. No. Focus on one, and then your opportunities will come off that one. But focus on the one. Focus on your fans. Focus on the people who believe in you and your product. Those are the people you want to connect with. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about the naysayers. You can't please everyone. It's not going to happen. You can't do it. Focus on positivity. Focus on the ones that matter. The more successful you are, the more successful your product is, you're going to have more people who dislike you. It's a polarization. The better you become as far as your business, the more your business grows, it's inevitable that there's going to be people who dislike you. So you're going to be very polarized. You're going to have people who love you, and you're going to have people who dislike you. It's going to happen. If you're not developing that polarization, you're probably not being very successful. The best example is the President of the United States. And I'm talking about any president. I'm not getting into politics here. Any president is probably the most loved by half the people and probably the most hated by half the people. Most any president, that's how it works. So take that as an example. The higher you get in success, the higher and better you do with your product or your business, the more that you're going to develop true fans, and the more you're going to develop people who don't like you or don't like your product or service. That's okay. If you're an internally driven person, Don't worry about the people who do not like you. Focus on the ones who do. That's your fan base. That's your core. They're the ones who make you a success. Stop trying to please the ones who don't. What's the keys to developing true fans? The first one is simply be accessible. For some reason, a lot of us have this idea that, well, I'm going to make myself seem important and I'm not going to respond to my customers or my fans. It's absolutely the worst thing you can do. Worst thing you can do. Be accessible. Talk to your fans, talk to your customers, talk to your clients consistently and regularly. The most successful business owners, the most successful people, they have this about them. I really recommend the book Never Eat Alone. It's a great, great book. Read that book. They'll tell you, it really drove home to me the importance of giving out and reaching out to other people. So I encourage you to check that out. But with your fans, be accessible. If you have a website for your business and someone comes to your website and leaves a comment, or someone comes to your website and contacts you, contact them back as soon as possible. And I admit, this is a point that I've had to work on myself. We get busy. We get busy focusing on the components of our business. But what's important is the people who buy our products and buy our services. They're the ones we need to focus on. If someone contacts you, contact them back. Be accessible. Be on social media. Be in touch with your base. If you got people who come into your store consistently, talk to them, get to know them, go above and beyond what people expect. If you do that, if you're willing to go above and beyond, that's what will develop true fans. I did a podcast recently with Bob, who runs the Econo Lodge here in Dalton. Check it out. He talks about how he went above and beyond to help a customer. That one customer is now a true fan. That true fan of his has referred at least 10 to 15 people to stay at his hotel. And not only that, those people are consistent. They'll stay there every time they travel through. It's a ripple effect. If you go above and beyond, if you create true fans who believe in you, believe in your business, believe in your product, it's a ripple effect. And it takes off. That momentum will build and you'll get more and more and more. But it is up to you to develop that base, to keep it consistent, and to go above and beyond. Be more than just a product. If you're focused on your product's got to be more than just a product. It's got to affect people. It's got to touch people. That's how you develop true fans. So keep that in mind as you develop your business, as you develop your strategies. How are you going to reach out to your customers? How are you going to reach out to your base? What are you going to do today to make a little bit of a difference in your customer's life? That will put you into the category of developing fans. And once you have fans, your momentum builds. Stop trying to please everybody. Focus on the people who are important to you, the people who support you. Support your fans. So, being accessible is very important. Respond and interaction, which I just talked about, is essential. That's how you develop a relationship with anybody. So respond and interact with your customers when they least expect it. And that right there will take you far. For example, if you have a customer list and you have their birthdays, call them personally on your birthday. Even if you can't call everybody, call one or two people. How long does that take? That takes maybe 15 minutes. Call them, wish them happy birthday. It's the small gratitude things like that that affect people. It's not necessarily the big things that affect people that develops true fans. It's the small things. Work on the small things. Work on the small things with your fan base. Some other things you could do. Post pictures of them. Post pictures of them in your store. Post pictures of them in your restaurant. Post pictures of them on Facebook. Pictures, particularly social media, are very powerful now. And not only that, if you post pictures of them, they're going to tag it. It's going to show up to their friends. What all this comes down to is basically developing a relationship with your customer. I know that sounds so basic, but that is what it comes down to. You develop a relationship with your customer that goes above and beyond what other competitors of yours are willing to do. You will develop more fans. If you develop more fans, you'll be more successful. You'll get more referrals. You'll have more success. So the last thing I want to cover here is what's the pitfalls of having loyal fans. And I was listening to Tim Ferriss on a Smart Passive Income podcast. I believe it was that. It was either Smart Passive Income or it was Bulletproof Exec. Is one of the two podcasts. He's been making the rounds lately, promoting his own podcast. So I can't remember which one it was. But he talked about the fact that his best fans can also become his worst haters. And this is not anything intentional he does. But if you have a true loyal fan and they feel any way in the least bit slighted, like you did something to offend them, you did something that let them down, and then they can flip and they actually become a true hater. And he said that, his most loyal fans actually are the ones that most likely become true haters. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're developing a fan base, if you're developing, 1,000 fans, you're actually not always going to be able to please them. And when they do flip, they may actually become true haters. So try your best to please your fans. Reach out to them, develop a relationship with them. Just be aware that if at any point in time, whether intentionally or unintentionally, if you do something to hurt one of your fans or slight them because they are so invested in you, they're going to react very poorly, most people, and they're going to actually turn on you. And this is simply human nature. So that's sort of the downfall to true fans. As you grow, as you develop, more success, more fans, you're going to unintentionally do things to upset people, and then they'll turn around and go the other way. You can't let that affect you. Just keep growing, and keep building your business, and keep building your success. So let's recap. In this episode, we covered the following things. Basically, develop 1,000 true fans. Focus on the true fans. Don't focus on everyone. Focus on the people, the customers that your business and your service resonates with, that will buy anything related to it. And that's the key. If they're willing to spend $100 a year, that's $100,000 gross revenue. Build something of value where people want to spend $100 a year with you. And it's not about chasing the money. It's about providing enough value. It's about providing a service or a product that will deliver that people will want to pay you. Because they want to buy your product, they want to buy your service, they want to hear from you. So that is the 1,000 fan theory. And we talked about how reaching out to your customers and going above and beyond is the way to develop true fans. Building a relationship with your fans, showing that you care about them. Be sincere and care about the people who buy your product, who come into your store, who are your customers. And then we talked about the pitfall could be that true fans can actually turn into true haters.